The other day, I was delivering a pizza to a family. Now, it was like I think it was a 16-inch, but it was a big pizza, 8 slices. Go to the apartment complex. I get to the door. It was a cash order, roughly $27. $27 for one pizza is kind of fucked up. I don't make the prices. I go to his house, knock on the door. It comes up to, yeah, 27 bucks. He comes to the door with a 20 and three ones. And he was asking if he could pay the rest of it over the phone. Now, understand in this situation, I'm not going to get tipped. I understand that I'm not going to get tipped on this delivery because I'm going to get tipped $3 if anything, if he wants to pay the $7 over the card and 20, just hand me the 20 to pay the rest of it. I'm not getting paid here. So I stand at the door. I tell him, oh, yeah, we can try and get something worked. Let me get my phone and for my car and I'll call my boss. He'll do the transaction over the phone and we'll be good to go. I go get my phone, I call our store, and one of my coworkers who is a little stupid. Fuck. He's fairly new and he wasn't really understanding what I was saying, and it was really like I was annoyed. I wasn't really gonna I knew I wasn't gonna get paid. I was pretty annoyed. I wanted to go and just leave. So I told the guy, I said I wasn't gonna get any progress with my coworker over the phone. I said, you know what, man? I got a couple ones in my wallet. I'll cover it. You give me the 23 bucks. I'll cover the other $4. You're good. When I said that to him, I looked in his house. I looked in his house, and it was him, two children behind him, three more children, and then I'm assuming his wife. So that was like seven. It looked like everyone was gonna get like one slice. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm standing there with him, I looked at his family. I was like, yeah, you know what? It appears that this is all like obviously he had money on card. I get that, but it appeared like they were in a tough spot, and it's rough right now in America. I understand all the finances of it. I get it, and I sympathize with the man. I said, you know what, bro, I got you. Like because I've delivered to them before, so I know they're like good people, and they tip fairly well usually, because they usually pay over card. But I said, you know what, guys, I got y'all. I understand how it is. This one's on me. I go back to my car. I'm still pretty upset about it, because not only am I not getting tipped, but I'm actually losing money. I say losing, but it's taking cash out of my wallet. It's like just ones that I don't really care about or don't really like regard. So like it wasn't that bad of a loss, really. But in that moment, I felt good. I felt good about what I was doing. As much as it like pained me to not to not get tipped, to not get paid for that delivery. I understood that the situation was a little bit bigger than that. And I think that's where a lot of people really miss when they think about doing something. I don't want to say good in like with good intentions, just something that is just probably the morally correct option, you know? I I didn't hold myself as like a hero or anything, but I understood that I was in a position to help him out. And that's what I like to do. I like helping people out as much as I can because it feels I usually I don't lose a good amount of whether it be money or time or effort. The net gain out of the interaction of me helping someone is usually positive. And in this situation, even though I was losing $4 out of my wallet so this guy could have like a stress-free night, maybe even like he can, like I felt like I was doing him a favor and I was doing him a solid, and you know I felt like I was doing a good thing because he could feed his family. What I want to talk today about is doing acts of kindness, doing good deeds without the expectation of reciprocation. You know, I wasn't giving this man a pass just for him to tip me larger on the next delivery. You know, they don't know who's delivering it. So how would he know it's going to go to me, right? I did it because to me in that moment it was the right thing to do. I was in a position to help him out with little to no detriment to myself. So why not? You know, if he had like $3 and I was gonna help him pay the whole fucking thing, sure. I'm not dropping $20 like that. You know, $20 is $20. But if it's just ones that are in my wallet and he's a couple bucks short, who cares? You know, who cares? I'm gonna let him have his food so he can feed his family. Because again, it was like 7 or 8 people in there, and it was like an 8 slice pizza. It looked like everyone was gonna get one slice. You know, didn't look like the most prosperous situation for him. And I was in a position to give. You know, this is the giving time of year. Thanksgiving's coming up, and Christmas is right after that. So I feel like in that aspect, it was somewhat of like my societal duty to lend a hand, you know, be as helpful as possible. And also it like I don't want to say it's good for business, but it's a good look for me as a person, I would say. And again, this isn't like I'm expecting something in the future or I want to appear as nice as possible, you know. I viewed it more as like just a helping hand. You know, sometimes people just need that little boost. And I felt like in that moment, me losing out on the tip and the $4, it was worth it. You know, my boss let me keep all that money afterward. He let it slide, so I got to get my $4 back and the $23 he gave me. Because my boss felt bad because I also made like no other fucking money that day. He felt really bad for me. But I did what I did not knowing I would have been compensated like that, you know? Luckily I was. Because again, I made like no fucking money on Thursday. Made no fucking money. But that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is when you are able to, if you are able to, help those who are less fortunate than you. Not in the hopes that that karma will wrap around and gift you something, but just out of the kindness of your heart, because you are able to brighten someone's day just that little bit more, and I feel like that is really worth it. Thank you.